On this episode of WTF, we're going to show you 3 quick pizza dough recipes. A classic weeknight pizza, a keto pizza, and even a gluten-free pizza dough. Hey, it's Chef Scott.
And Janie, and welcome to WTF, where we help you transform food in your kitchen. So remember to subscribe and stick around for our weekly giveaway. This week we are showing you 3 delicious pizza recipes, a classic weeknight recipe, a gluten-free, and a keto pizza. So Scott, pizza is one of the most requested recipes when we said, what do you want us to do 3 ways? And tons of people just said, show us how to do pizza. So we thought we would kind of dig into our archives and pull up our favorite pizza recipes and share them with the viewers.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about, maybe everyone knows what pizza is. I don't think we need to go into that. But I know that when we develop our recipes, we always look to make them a little bit better, more efficient, tastier. And one thing when we were talking about the recipes that I noticed is that we use both the I'm Free Perfect baking powder and the Instaferm Gold in all 3 recipes. So can you talk about what these ingredients are and how do they help these recipes?
Sure. So these ingredients are there for 2 reasons. Yeast will give a little bit of lift, even if it's a short-term, proof like the 3 of these are. But also it gives that flavor. There's a little bit of flavor that comes with the yeast that is just it's perfect for pizza, and that's what everyone knows. So whether you're making it keto or gluten-free, you want a little bit of that yeastiness in there. So we use our Instaferm, and then we use an ingredient, the I'm Free Perfect baking powder. Because these are quick doughs, they're done in a short amount of time, less than 2 hours in some cases, then we want to just give an extra bit of lift. So this is a late-acting baking powder, so when you make the dough, you're not going to see a difference until you bake it and you get just that little boost of lift at the end. So you get those pockets in a classic dough, and for the rest of something like a keto, it needs just a little bit of aeration so it's not too dense, it's not gummy, and then the same with the gluten-free.
Yeah, and we're going to step through each of the doughs and show you the pizza, and we have a couple of we're going to have a couple of very special taste testers in the kitchen today. But if there's only one recipe that you want to look at, we're putting the timestamps in the links in the description below, so you can always skip ahead to that if you don't want to watch the whole thing, but we hope you do. All right, let's start with the classic weeknight. And we know, as parents, that it's very hard to make pizza from scratch, when you're running around trying to do everything else. Can you walk through, what are we talking about that makes this a quick dough?
Sure. So I'm going to start flouring this right as we do, but this is a dough that follows all the rules of a traditional pizza dough. The only thing that it breaks is that we add some of the perfect baking powder and we get that little bit of lift, and we can get this done in 2.5 hours rather than doing it in 6 or 7 hours, following all the proofing. So basically what you can do is you can take it, and during that first bulk fermentation, when you're allowed, allowing the dough to settle, allowing it to rest, once that's done, you can bake it. You do not have to then shape it again and wait for it to proof a second time, sometimes a third time. Some people go overnight. So we can make it right now. And you can see it's very, pliable. It looks just like a traditional pizza dough. And we're going to make a wonderful pizza out of it, as well as the keto and the gluten-free. But you can see that this dough, if I wanted to, I could pick it up and probably stretch it and form it just like a regular pizza dough, but it acts and reacts the same exact way that you would want it to. Just for the camera, there we go. So we're gonna put that together in a little bit, but I want to show you how well our gluten-free pizza dough also works.
Yeah, I know the issue that we run into often with gluten-free is there's a lack of stretchiness when it comes to dough that's very crumbly, very hard. What do we do in order to make it very pliable and workable?
So we have a few ingredients. Obviously we have our 2 leavening agents here that really help with it. But the way that we found that makes the best gluten-free, doughs that you can stretch and work and not have to spread them out like the keto one, using a spatula, is transglutaminase, TI, which is also known as moo glue. And that works with another ingredient, sodium caseinate. So it bonds to the sodium caseinate and allows it to be stretchy, and I can roll it out, which is not something that you can normally do with a gluten-free dough. You're going to see some cracking. That's fine. Shape it back up. But the ability to roll it and shape it and pick it up and place it and put it on a pizza peel, all these things are not gluten-free things unless it's already baked.
Yeah. And what other ingredients are in that dough itself?
Oh, there's a lot of ingredients. So another common thread that we find with these two doughs is perfect gluten replacement, which helps give us this structure, give us this look to the dough, as well as this one has the I'm Free Perfect baking flour. So all of those things work really well. All right, so let's put this back together. But I can lift up this dough and not have to worry about it just falling apart completely, right? So that's a good thing. All of these are pretty much ready to go. But yeah, this one uses quite a few ingredients, but you end up with the best gluten-free dough that we've had. So.
No, I completely agree, and we'll see whether our taste testers will agree as well. All right, and so moving on to, of course, our keto pizza, which is dramatically different from everything else.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about what exactly goes into a keto pizza dough when you have to completely remove, like starches and flour?
Yeah, so we found some proteins. Some proteins that kind of bond and get sticky, so things like egg white powder, that's a big component to this. We also want to have a little bit of crispiness, a little bit of body, so we went with pork rinds, which are ground down into a flour, some flax meal, which gives it a little bit of stickiness. It helps with that structure, but also gives it a texture and a flavor. There's a lot of things that go into this, mozzarella cheese, eggs, all of those come together, and when it's baked, you get that nice firm, crisp bottom. You get a little bit of aeration on the inside by using the I'm Free Perfect baking powder. And then you end up with that crust, which we actually had to pipe onto the outside. So, so this one goes on there with the spatula and gets piped on the outside. So all those ingredients come together. But this one, I would suggest par baking before we get into the toppings and things like that, or else you're going to get a soggy dough.
Yeah, and of course, if you want to see the whole process for any of today's doughs, we certainly have all of that information in the links in the description below. And don't forget to enter for a chance to win this week's giveaway, which will be a bag of the I'm Free Perfect baking powder, as well as a bag of the Instaferm. To enter to win, leave in the comments below a classic recipe that you would like to see us revamp 3 ways. It's that easy. Enter to win.
And we're back, and we have 3 different types of pizza and a few guests, as you can see.
All right, girls, do you want to introduce yourselves?
Yes, I am Chloe. I am her daughter.
And I'm Sophie, her friend.
All right, and the girls are actually doing a blind taste test today, which means that they do not know which pizzas, which, we talked a little bit about the 3 types, but we haven't gone into any details. So they are tasting this for the very first time. All right. Why don't we start from all the way on the left,
Start
Scott?
on this side, and all 3 of you can grab one.
Okay.
It should be pretty sturdy, not too much flop. All right, just take 1 bite, and then let us know.
We've also starved them for hours, so they'll say nice stuff.
Okay.
What are your thoughts? Does it taste like pizza?
It does.
It tastes like regular
pizza.
pizza.
That's a good thing. That's what
Okay.
we're shooting for.
All right.
I need to taste it.
So this one is a thin crust pizza. It's very chewy. I would say it's obviously holding on to its shape. It's very has a really nice mouthfeel actually. Holding up the cheese, holding up the toppings, no slipping, no sliding. I like it. Do you want us to take guesses as to which one this is?
Oh, let's get through them all and we can
Okay.
do it. But yeah, we can go through and just taste them all.
Okay.
Very crunchy.
Good.
I like it.
Crunchy's
right.
good.
Chloe likes the crust. Did you take a bite of the crust?
I did. I take a bite of the
Take a
All
bite
right.
of the crust and right into my microphone. Do it. This is-
No pressure.
Listen to that, right? Feel like we're on
Super
TikTok.
crunchy. I know. All right. It's the crunchy challenge.
Remember which one's your slice.
Oh,
It's
too late.
okay. I
All right.
remember. I forget nothing. All right.
Okay. Now we got number 2.
Ooh, very dark crust.
Yeah. Darker crust. No flop. A little bit thicker of a crust. But that's easy to gauge for all of these. If you want it thicker, if you want it a little bit more crispy and thin, that's up to you.
This one has a crunchy crust as well.
All of them should, because that's
Thick base.
ideal when you have pizza. What are we thinking about the crust on this one?
It's a little bit sweeter than the last.
A little bit sweeter. Okay.
I definitely agree with that one. I also feel like it's a little bit more crunchy.
A little bit more crunchy and a little bit sweeter. That's
Yeah,
They're
but
definitely different.
is it tasty?
Yes.
Yeah.
I prefer regular pizza though.
well,
I like this one too.
as long as you think this one's regular pizza.
It's a little cakey, but in a good way.
And then the last one, you reach it from there.
Here you go.
Once we taste that, we'll be able to know.
Thank you. One of these is keto, right?
One of them is keto.
One of them is keto, yeah. So we can
All right.
kind of talk about that. One of these, after you take your first bites, one of
Okay.
these is keto, which we already saw. One of them is gluten-free, and then one of them is just a traditional, flour crust.
Like you get in a pizzeria.
Yep. So it's up to you to figure out which one's which. But are they all good? Do they all taste like
Yes,
pizza?
yes.
Do they all did any of them feel funny? No, they feel like pizza. That's great. We
This
didn't
one's my
pay them
favorite.
anything for this. What is this one, Chloe?
I like it the best.
Okay, good.
I
good.
do too.
But they're all good. So if you had to
They're
take
all
a
good.
guess, which one is the classic dough?
I think it's this one.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Okay. And,
I think that this one's the classic.
okay. And which one's the gluten-free?
This one.
Perfect. You as well, Chloe? Nailed it. And then that leaves only one option for
Okay.
keto, and they're right. But as long as they're all tasty and they're all pizza-like and everyone would enjoy them, then I think you can go with any one of them.
It's true. The most important thing is that the children ate them, they liked them, and they did not spit anything out.
Yes. Yeah, which was a fear. So welcome to Live to Tape YouTube.
All right. So, as always, you can get all of today's recipes in the links in the description below. Remember to leave a comment. Let us know what recipe you would like to see us revamp next here on WTF. And until next week, from here in the test kitchen, we're all going to say our names. I'm Janie.
I'm Chloe.
I'm Sophie.
And I'm Scott.